Yo, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of For the Culture, man. And we got the bro Snow Billy in the building, man. Bro Snow Billy, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Damn, bro, so much to know about me, but just to give you a little insight, you know I'm the one that brung the Highland Park Paru blood set back to Bed-Stuy back in the early 90s. I'm also the creator and founder of the Gomo video and also the one responsible for turning 6'9", Tekashi 6'9", into an international star over here in the U.S.
Now, Snow, allegedly you are part of the Treyway, which is an acronym for the Non-Trey Gangster Bloods. How did you become a member of Treyway, and what year was this?
When I became Non-Trey Gangster in 1994, we did not use the acronym Treyway. That came many years later, where I was confined in New York City infamous Rikers Island prison complex. I was representing my original blood set, Highland Park Paru, during the race wars between the blacks and Latino inmates.
You say Highland Park Paru's, you referring to a hood in Little Rock. Now, what was it like growing up in Little Rock on the West End in Highland Park?
I was sent to Little Rock to live with my aunt because I was getting into too much trouble in New York City. But once I got down there, my cousins, Big Blood, and a few of my other cousins, they was all Bloods. You know what I mean? I ain't had no choice but to get down with the set. You know, it was real down there, man. It was, you know, really gang war. You know, it wasn't like this New York stuff.
And can you tell us the effect that the gangbanging culture had on Little Rock, Arkansas? Because we all remember banging in Little Rock and all that. But now that we put it in perspective, how long ago that was, what was the effect of the gangbang culture when they hit Little Rock, and how did that shit shape and mold you into the person that you became to be?
Well, you know, living in Little Rock and banging in Little Rock, you know, and being a youngin' at the time, it turned me to a man at an early age, you know. After being sent to juvenile jail, I was ordered to come directly back to New York once I was released. So when I came back to New York, only thing that was New York was Decepticons, face heads, low lives. You know, they was carrying hammers and chains and bats. So they wasn't really like the gangs down in Little Rock. You know, down in Little Rock, you know, we carrying shotguns and Mac 11s and 4.5s and 38s and 2.2s and all that. You know, when I came to New York, you know, the first set I came to was Gates Avenue. That was our turf, and I made that our turf. You know, that was the Young Blood Highland Park Paru blood set turf. And there wasn't no Bloods in New York at that time. Bloods came about later on Rikers Island in 93.
Now, you mentioned when you was released from juvie, they ordered you to come straight back to New York. You caught a case in Little Rock. What was the circumstances surrounding that?
Yeah, I got arrested in Little Rock for a drug charge. Plus, I was on a run for a case in New York. Once the Little Rock judge knew about the case in New York, they just sent me back to New York to handle the legal issues I had back home.
Telling people what the vibe was like when you hit Rikers Island, being a Blood in the early 90s. We know there was a lot of tension between Latin Kings, Nietas, and Bloods and things of that nature. Explain to the people what that first trip was like and some of the things you might have went through.
Well, when me and my coder from the Taiwan got to the adolescent building C-74, we was already gripped up, because we already knew it was a crazy war going on between the Latin Kings and the Yetas, the Dominican powers, the Montadans, against the blacks and everything, especially the Bloods. So we was already ready. We always kept New Yorkers, which is razors in our soles and our sneakers, just in case if we did get locked up in New York and was going to the island. So when we got to the island, we was I think we was in Mall 4 Lower. Then we got separated. You know, me being half Latin, I was sent to 4 Main, House of Pain. He got sent to 2 Upper, Chop Chop Shop. You know, we both had gang ties. When we got there, he was good because he was in 2 Upper. That's where all the Bloods was at. When I got to 4 Main, I was only there for like a good, probably no more than 10 minutes. You know, the first crown asked me, was I banging? He was the first crown of the adolescents in the 4 building. He asked me, was I banging? I already had the grip on deck. So when he asked that, I splashed him right there by the A and B gates, closed the day room door. Niggas rushed me up out of there, and it was lit from there. I got sent to 1 Main predicate being, and from there I became Non-Trey Gangster. So, you know, my name was ringing bells all through the building after that, and I wasn't even repping on New York set. I was just a Highland Park Paru Blood from Little Rock. So, you know, when I got to the Bean, niggas was like, yo, what set you repping and all that? I'm like, yo, I'm Highland Park Paru, man. You know, them niggas ain't even understand what that shit was, though.
Okay, so after you had popped on the Latin King Cat, which was the first crown in that building, was it lit for you after that? Was it comfortable for you after that? Was you able to settle in, or it was always lit because you popped on one of the heads? And then you said you turned non-Trey. Who was responsible for you turning non-Trey? Was that a decision that you made on your own, or was you interacting with some of the guys like SI, OG Mac, Deadeye? Did you have any interaction with them cats, and was any of them responsible for you turning non-Trey?
I mean, you know, after I cut the first crown in the adolescent billing, you know, shit was lit, you know, all through the billing because, you know, that's the first crown, man, and I'm fresh in the building and already got right with them. You know, you run into certain Land King niggas on the visiting floor, but back then, they had plastic bubbles on the visiting floor, and that's where all the predicate cutters had to go. And so the older Land King cats would be on the regular visiting floor, and they'd be looking at me and throwing up signs and, you know, saying all kind of slick shit and all that. But, you know, it wasn't nothing, man, because the niggas stayed gripped up going to that visiting floor. And yo, man, RP to SI, man, you already know, man, you know, that's my motherfucking homie right there. You know, when SI heard what happened in 4 Man, you know, he ain't had no choice but to sanction me into the set. You know, it was like, man, the homie came in the building and got right with the first crown. So, you know, SI was like, oh, shit, like, yo, he splashed. Matter of fact, I gave that king about 46 stitches. So after that, you know, nigga name was crazy. So, you know, the homie SI was like, yo, man, you got to come over to the set, nigga. Like, you know, nah, you got to jack the non-Trey gangster set. So, you know, I took him on his offer, man, and I jumped in the whip.
No, when did you first meet Tekashi 6ix9ine, and what did you think of him? And can you describe him before he became the mega star that we all know him to become? And what was his life like before the music?
I first met Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know, he was very humble, very quiet. You know, he wasn't really feeling the whole gang culture thing. You know, he didn't want to be in the studio with all the little homies and all that was running around smoking and everything. You know, he was out his element. But he wanted his career to go to another level, and he knew that I had what it took to take him there. So, you know, he got comfortable around me, you know what I'm saying? You know, he was just humble, man. He wasn't what I seen him turn to later on while incarcerated on Rikers Island after he was influenced by Shotty and him. You know, when he came in the studio with me, you know, he didn't even want to be in there with the homies, man. You know, he couldn't really relate to that. You know, that was out of his element, though. But, you know, he was humble, you know, very grungy, you know, and just wanted to be a punk rock rapper, you know, until I laid out the blueprint to say, yo, listen, this is what we got to do to take you to that next level.
Now, bro, can you tell the viewers which part you played in Tekashi's early career and what was your role? And were you part of the marketing or unofficial manager?
In the beginning of Tekashi 6ix9ine music career, I worked side by side with his official manager, Black Chris, with organizing his overseas concerts, tours, and making sure we had merchandise available at all the events. But overall, my main position was working with his image and negotiating deals of that nature.
Now, I understand that you didn't want Tekashi 6ix9ine to portray the gangster image. What image did you have in mind for him?
It wasn't that I ain't want him to portray the gangster image. Of course, I ain't want that kind of heat on him. But as an entertainer, you could portray whatever part it is in this entertainment industry. I didn't want him to act out in reality. The image I had cut out for him was more like the Harry Potter of hip-hop.
Was he portraying the image to sell records, or was he really, at one point in time, happened to be really with the shit? And was he a member of Treyway, or was he a member of the non-Trey Gangsta Bloods? And then who gave him the cosign? Like, who put him on the hood, if that was the case?
You know, a lot of people don't know about Tekashi 6ix9ine. He is an official member of non-Trey Gangsta, Billy Badass Blood set. You know, about the 7th day at the Dog Pound, Tekashi got jumped in by 3 of the little homies. You know, we're in the studio. One of the little homies came in and just stole on him. You know what I mean? They jumped him. And that right there solidified his spot as being part of the set. But a lot of the shit that went on after that was basically he was portraying to sell more records, the hypeness and all that, and the antics he was with. You know, that was all, you know, to sell records and, you know, get the exposure. But officially, yeah, he got jumped into the set inside the Dog Pound. You know what I mean? Like, he really got jumped in. That's what a lot of niggas don't know. You know, he ain't even know he was getting jumped in. Niggas wasn't really feeling him at first, so the little homies got right with him. One of the little homies of the set stole on him, and like 2 more connected, and, you know, we had to break it up because, you know, we couldn't let that shit happen to him. You know what I mean? So, you know, he really got his fair share of getting his ass kicked for a quick little, probably about a good 28, 29 seconds probably, you know what I mean? Niggas wanted to go to 31, but nah, shit was looking crazy, so we got, you know, the homies up off him.
Do you feel the gangster persona was part of the downfall?
I mean, the gangster persona wasn't part of the downfall. Understand that the set was already under investigation way before Tekashi came into the picture. But what was part of the downfall was the things he was doing and the attention he brung is what made the investigation get closed up faster than what they wanted to. And then especially when they heard the threats that they got on wiretap, that niggas was gonna kill him, you know, they had to come in and close the investigation, because hearing it on wiretap, you can't allow someone to get hurt when it's being recorded, you feel me? So his behavior caused the investigation to get closed down faster.
Tell the viewers, who is Shotty and how long have you known him?
Shotty was a real close comrade to me and one of the enforcers for Billy Badass Records and also the set. Shotty been around quite some time, and at one point he could really be considered as a #1 top goon for the game.
So yo, Snow, how did Shotty wind up managing Tekashi? And did Tekashi have a manager before Shotty came in the picture?
Shotty started managing Tekashi once I was out the way and once Harv was out the way. That's how Shotty got full control over Tekashi, because me and Harv wasn't there no more. You know, I was on Raggers Island and they was ducking Harv everywhere they went, places Harv couldn't get to. That's how he became his unofficial manager.
Do you feel Shotty was a bad influence on Tekashi, or do you think he was extorting him from the jump?
Nah, Shotty wasn't never extorting Tekashi. What he was doing was using him to push the label and to be able to get other artists to come on the Treyway lineup. He was stealing, I would say, stealing at the beginning when the walkthroughs was taking place. He wouldn't give him the money that the clubs or the strip clubs was paying him for the walkthrough. That's what he was doing, stealing. Not extortion, stealing.
What do you think the main cause of the rift was between you and Tekashi? And like, at what point do you feel that Tekashi, Shotty, and some of the other Treyway members wanted you out of the picture, and why?
You know, basically the rift was about that. I wasn't feeling them, representing them as this wilded out gang member, tarnishing the image that I was setting out for him. That's what the rift was about. I didn't really care that he got jumped in. Niggas fight all day in the dog pound inside the studio, making him, you know, as the face of the brand. And when I say the brand, I mean the gang brand, not the company business brand, was against my rules, you know?
Now, Snow, you know, everybody know that Tekashi had a little drama with Casanova 2 times at one point in time. There's rumors that you had a part in squashing that beef. Can you tell the people about that situation and how you played a role in that whole beef?
Yeah, it was definitely behind the scenes with that beef, man. It was definitely more to it. It wasn't really never between Tekashi and Casanova, man. You know, for the most part, on the Casanova, and, you know, Casanova expressed the way he felt about Tekashi to me. Like, yo, listen, you know, he was basically not really feeling, you know, the homie supporting Tekashi, because, you know, at the time they both was coming out around the same time. And, you know, Casanova just let me know, like, yo, bro, I ain't feeling that nigga. Like, no, I ain't. That nigga getting more attention than me. You feel me? That's what his little personal shit was with him. But it was really, you know, Tekashi was being used as a mouthpiece for the people who the beef was really with. But what I could say for the most part is the beef wasn't really with Casanova Tekashi. It was with 2 other people that was real close to me and Tekashi. It was really some street shit that went on.
You say Casanova felt that Tekashi 6ix9ine was getting all the attention, but I've seen some interviews where Casanova kind of expressed that Tekashi 6ix9ine was getting all the attention for all the wrong reasons, you know, being at the antics and the, you know, the things that he was doing to draw attention to himself via social media.
Basically, bro, Casanova wanted that same kind of fame and attention Tekashi 6ix9ine was getting. You know, he craved that. He wanted that. You know, and to see a Latin kid get it, you know, it disturbs him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he wasn't feeling that. He like, damn, you know, this kid coming out looking the way he looked, you know, and he getting all this love and all this attention. And, you know, you got Casanova over here, you know, who was just kind of mediocre at the time. You know, he wasn't feeling that, man. But it's a lot more behind that. You know what I'm saying? It was more that, so, you know, he was rolling with the non-Trey gangster set, and, you know, certain individuals in the set was backing him who tried to get at Casanova multiple times and shit. So, you know, he wasn't really feeling the whole thing, man, because there was a lot of behind the scenes things taking place, man. Cash utilized the platform, you know, the beef he had, you know, the made up beef, you know, to make to the public, to make it look like he had beef with Tekashi. You know, he used that to capitalize off of. You know, when the real beef was with several other individuals that was part of the set, not solely with Tekashi. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't with a Casanova Tekashi beef. That's why it was so easy for them to squash it, you know, because it wasn't directly with Tekashi. You know, he had his own personal, you know, jealousy and envy of the kid Fame, but it was more so like, you know, listen, I could get ahead and try to belittle this kid and also capitalize off everything at once. You know, when the real beef lies with the people who promoting him and pushing him, you know, the ones that's behind him. So that's what it basically was over, you know. And there's a few more things. That's all in the book, though, man.
Now, with hindsight being 2020, Snow, do you think that Casanova was smart for taking the high road and not indulging in that back and forth tirade with Tekashi?
Of course, man. You know, he can't afford to catch no felonies, man. You know, so that was a good move for him. You know, he ain't, you know, I'm happy he didn't indulge with no beef and no violence towards the kid, because at the end of the day, it was all under investigation. So if he would have done anything in regards to him, he'd be facing a life sentence probably, or 50 years. You know, if he would have let his anger supersede his intelligence, you know, he would have went to jail, you know, and he don't want to go to jail. So I'm happy he took the high road and not indulge in no beef with the kid or got himself caught up in some legal actions dealing over this situation, you know. So he did the good thing, man, you know. Shout out to Casanova, man, you know what I'm saying, for not indulging in that beef, man, and taking the high road on that.
So, yo, bro, your own team basically tried to take you out of here. Can you explain to the viewers why they wanted to cause you some type of harm?
Basically, my cabinet wanted to remove me because, you know, I wasn't going with what they wanted me to agree with. You know, I didn't want to go with their marketing plan. It was basically all over creative control and who he was going to sign to. You know, behind closed doors, it was somebody who played the major part in this to have me removed so he could sign Tekashi to his label.
Yo, Snow, tell the people how I felt, man. You sitting on Rikers Island, man, with 2 bullet holes in your head, man, watching all this shit unravel. What was your thoughts?
When I got released from Kings County Hospital, I was sent to Brooklyn House for like 4 days, and they shipped me to Rikers Island, C95, one of the most notorious gang-related blood houses on Rikers Island at that time. A lot of the homies that was in that house, they made sure I was good. They took care of me. You feel me? They made sure I ain't had to do too much. In the process that I ran into a lot of enemies, you know what I'm saying? Niggas I done stabbed up north, some niggas I done cut up, you feel me? But I was fucked up. Remember, I had the bullet in my head and I got shot in my neck. So I was kind of like really out of it. But at the end of the day, you know, I knew the consequence in the situation I was in. So, you know, I watched a lot of that shit unfold from the day room television, man. You know, the deals I broke. So, you know, watching that shit from the day room TV, man, was crazy, man. Every time shit come on the radio, I got homies waking me up like, yo, you hear this shit? You hear this shit? So it was a lot, you know what I'm saying, at the time, because the house I was in was like a 24-hour lockdown house, cameras and that shit and everything. You know, at the end of the day, I was still facing 2 years on a parole hit. I was fucked up bad, man, you know. I got through that shit, man, you know, thank the God, man. And just imagine being locked down in a small day room for 5 fucking months, not able to move nowhere, neck fucked up, bullet moving around in your head and shit. Like, shit was crazy.
Now, Snow, in July 2018, Tekashi claimed that he was pistol whipped, robbed, and hospitalized. He said it was a setup. Subsequently, a guy named Harv was arrested and charged for allegedly attempting to rob Tekashi. Can you tell the viewers who Harv is? Why do you think Harv allegedly turned on Tekashi?
You know, at the time, the Tekashi robbery and kidnapping went down, I wasn't really well, you know, and I don't know for sure if Harv even had a hand in that. But what I do know is this: Harv is original Red Chuck Taylor boy. Harv had a big part in Tekashi's career. He was also part owners of Tekashi image and brand. So there's a lot weighing on that and dealing with that at this point. But Harv is an official, really badass record enforcer and security. That's Leatherface, man. You know, that's Harv, man. You know, one of my protectors.
Now, yo, Snow, back in November of 2018, right, Tekashi was arrested on the RICO charges. He was facing 32 years to life in prison. In February 2019, he pleaded guilty to 9 of the charges against him. Now, his sentence is up and coming. Now, how does a young kid go from being the hottest thing in the game to getting caught up in the racketeering and murder conspiracy, man?
Well, Tekashi kind of like jumped out the frying pan into the fire when he got down with the gang, because the gang was already under investigation for multiple years. By becoming an international star on a gang label, while it's under already a RICO investigation, and then the antics that he was going on, which made things a little more hotter for the authorities to be coming out and being at every video shoot when it was a bigger picture. When it came to the RICO investigation, it was bigger things that the authorities was investigating than having 6ix9ine come in the picture and being the reason that they had to cut the investigation short because his life was in danger. He came in having the wrong people behind him and leading him is the reason why his career went down in destruction.
What was your thoughts as you watched all this unfold from a jail cell on Rikers Island?
I used to sit back in the day room and watch all this stuff unfold through TMZ, man, and be like, damn, man, like, everything a nigga built, everything a nigga taught these niggas to get the major bag, man, they were just letting everything fall by the wayside. We came so far, and just to go all the way down the drain, man, when we was sitting on a major bag, man. So, it was just madness, bro, madness.
Now, there's a cat whose name been coming up a lot. The name is CEO Chris.
Yeah, man, CEO Chris is one of the main reasons behind the RICO charge. CEO Chris is the main reason behind a lot of niggas being in the feds in the state pen right now. Man, he's a multi-millionaire / hip-hop police undercover agent. He was the main one behind, wanting to sign Tekashi for the $1 million to his label, Always Pay Music Group, and also want to put up $500,000 to do an energy drink. He been behind a lot of underground rappers in New York City careers. He financed several rappers out of New York City careers. CEO Chris, man, is a different type of dude, man. I can't say too much, but better believe, man, individuals know who CEO Chris is, man. But he's the main reason who wanted Tekashi 6ix9ine signed to his Always Pay Music Group. He had $500,000 to do an energy drink. He also the one who signed Jim Jones affiliate Roll Murder and Jack Boys Entertainment. He was behind Tekashi 6ix9ine getting his jury back, and so much on CEO Chris, man. You gotta see this shit in the movie or the book, bro.
Now, Mel Matrix and Roll Murder, they was running around with Jim for a while with the Bird Gang thing, with the HOB thing that you mentioned. I think it was called the Hop Out Boys. They never really got caught up, you know what I mean? As far as the public eye, it was never no issues. What do you think the difference was when they associated themselves with Tekashi 6ix9ine that caused their demise, as far as with the court of law and all that, and all this indictments and the conspiracy charges? So when I say demise, I'm meaning as far as losing their freedom.
Well, the set didn't get hot until Bloody Vex and Red Diamonds got murdered. Red Diamonds was murdered in the studio. They was coming to murder Vex, but Vex had just left. So after them two wound up getting murdered, that's when the hip-hop police started investigating the set. And that ain't take place in like 2012 or 13. That's why Roll Murder, Mel Murder wasn't under the watchful eye of the law enforcement. Everything got crazy when them two homies got murdered over, hip-hop beef and all other kind of business situations.
From what the public has seen, we see the persona, we see the bravado that those guys moved around the city with. Who was these guys before that? Like, who was, you saying that, this was things that you instilled in Mel and things that you instilled in Shotty throughout the years. Can you give us a description of them guys before their names started ringing bells in the street and things of that nature? What type of guys were they as younger cats coming up?
Well, as for Melly, man, Melly always been a good kid in the neighborhood, man. He always, looked up to me and my team, and always wanted to roll with me and my team. I come from a mean crew that come out of Bed-Stuy, man. He looked up to that, man. And, that's what made me bring him on board when we was young. But, Melly been a mama's boy, man. He a good kid, man, overall, man. And, as for the other guys, man, all them guys was good kids, man, loyalists, man, like Shotty and Harv, man, when I was in the street, man, them niggas made sure I ain't never had to do nothing, man, Shotty and Harv always made sure whatever they did, man, they kicked money up top, man, they always made sure that, I ain't had to go out and do nothing to get money, because them niggas made sure they got it, and they made sure they they kicked it up top. They was, the street soldiers for the set. As when they was younger, I wasn't really around. I was gone. I was fighting my cases, man, in the mountains and all that. So, as for Melly, I could just tell you really about Melly, man. When I came home, I was introduced, to the rest of the set and the rest of the guys, man, and they fell in line, man. They did what they had to do, man, to make sure, things was right, man.
Now, Snow, in New York City, right? Mel Murder, he had quite a name for himself. Now, people was, you have some guys that say, oh, Mel, that's the big homie. But how can you be considered a big homie if you never been up north? You never been through the prison system and done any substantial amount of time to be, quote unquote, I would guess, I don't know, for lack of a better word, to be certified. You understand? Like, how did that happen? Was there any backlash from some of the guys, some of the originators of the set? Was there any backlash for the guys for the way that they was portraying the non-trade gangsters on the street and in the music industry?
Listen, Mel Murder only got his name, man, because of me, man. When I went away with all that time, man, I put Mel Murder in position of the set. I blessed him, with what he needed to do and where he needed to go when it came to dealing with this red life, man. So, I got into a few knife fights over Melly, man. I ain't got into a few knife fights because of him, because of his mouth, because the way he reacted to certain things in the street, and me being who I am over him, that shit fell on me. But I handled it accordingly, and I still always tuck his side, man, no matter what, But this was the last straw right here, man. I couldn't do no more for him, you know what I'm saying? I done held him down, man, for many years, even while I was doing time in the inside, and I never asked nigga for nothing, you feel me? All I asked him to do is, yo, man, be a stand-up nigga, homie, that's all. That's it, man. But Mel Murder is just a big homie considered to the little homies that's in the neighborhood. Up north, man, niggas don't know Mel Murder. Niggas don't even give a fuck about a Mel Murder. You dig what I'm saying? And you right, he ain't never been to the mountains, man. I'm the one that did the jail time. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that went through the trenches, so he could have the name he have.
Now, when y'all came up with Badass Records, was that your idea?
Bleed Badass Records was mainly the real reason why you heard Tekashi 6ix9ine and Shotty screaming all the time, we the new Death Row. I created Billy Badass Records many years ago when we also had Bird Gang Mafia Music and H.O.B. I taught Shotty the blueprints of Billy Badass Records, which he'll later go on and use that same blueprint for Treyway Entertainment. So, Billy Badass Records, man, was definitely the reason behind the rise of Tekashi 6ix9ine and Shotty, Treyway Entertainment.
Now, Snow, do you think the Death Row comparisons played a part? Shotty is all quoted in a couple different interviews saying that we the new Death Row, we the Row, and shit like that. You think that shit had a detrimental effect?
Nah, I wouldn't say, by them screaming that made the set hot. What made the set hot is their behavior, is what they was doing in Manhattan and all around the boroughs of New York City. That's what made it hot and made the authorities want to crack down even faster. All them quotes you heard Shotty saying was what I taught him. We the new Death Row, follow protocol, we the mob. That's all my shit. The logo that I created for the BBA Records was the reason why, we was consider ourselves the new Death Row. Not because of the behavior of Death Row, but because of the resemblance of our logos. My idol, Harry O. Harry O was my idol, man. I always looked up to Harry O when I found out who he was, man, many years ago. So I kind of created my label, my logo to the label to resemble similar to how Death Row is. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way I took on to Harry O and the way he was moving. You know what I'm saying? And what he did for the industry. So everything you heard Shotty saying when he was screaming, we the new Death Row and all that, that's what I taught him over the years of us riding out together. Way before we had multiple artists and everything.
Now, Snow, you got a lot of people, right, that say, oh, Tekashi, niggas ain't fucking with him when he come home or he a rat, What do you think about the people that don't come from that background, that don't live by the street code, the regular civilians that was just into the music? Do you think Tekashi's gonna come home and strike again? You know what I mean? Like lightning gonna strike twice in the same spot or what? What you think? What's your take on it? Do you think he's gonna come home and be able to get right back to the music? Yeah, you're gonna have street cats that say, I ain't fucking with his music, he's a rat, he snitched, he did this and that. But we talking about the kid from Idaho. We talking about the kids from Wisconsin, You know, we talking about the kid over in Finland. You know, we talking about the kid in Russia that's listening to this type of music. What do you think? Do you think he's going to come home and be able to win again?
Yeah, of course he's going to come home and be able to win again, man, because that's the way I established it. I ain't established him to cater to the street dudes. I ain't established him to cater to the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Because I know them niggas ain't putting up no money. I created him for the kids who's in Finland, in Idaho, Wisconsin, Indianapolis and all that. You know, I never put him together for the guys in the street to accept him, because I know how they going. They ain't putting up no money. All they gonna do is bring problems to the venues and, you know, and other things that we trying to stray away from. So of course he gonna win again, because I'm gonna make sure he win again. If my hands is in it, we ain't catering to the street dudes. We ain't catering to the gangsters, you know. We making music that's catering to the kids that want to be entertained.
What are your thoughts on certain rappers who are riding Tekashi's wave, right? But these same rappers now, they don't want nothing to do with him because he allegedly cooperation with the feds. Does this show how fake the music industry is? What's your take on that?
Yeah, bro, you hit that shit right on the nose, man. A lot of these niggas in the industry is fake, homie. Like, I had so many niggas calling me in my DM, man, when I was promoting nigga Tekashi, man. It was crazy, man. You know, niggas wanted features. Niggas was doing everything, bro, to get a nigga attention and get a verse with this nigga, you dig? But for the most part, like, I see how Jim trying to handle the situation when, you know, we wasn't gonna let this be another Bird Gang situation when Mel had with Jim. But Jim one of the main ones who wanted to fucking ride Tekashi, but we wasn't allowing it. And he knew the nigga had told on his sexual misconduct case. So Jim is a hypocrite, man, you know, when it come to this shit, man, because you was riding with the nigga. I got pictures with you and Tekashi together, and you knew the nigga had told on the sexual misconduct case, but now you going on radio talking about he this and he that. Nigga, but you fuck with a rat, nigga. What's the nigga name? The Freaky Zeke nigga. He got niggas up north right now doing 60, 80 years. So how real is you, though?
Now, Snow, you got a lot of cats that say, yo, he wasn't doing this, or he wasn't doing that, or I don't know him from here, I don't know him from there. Now, you sent me the pictures, but we gonna use the visuals. You know what I mean? We see some pictures of when you was incarcerated. You got the chain on, the cross, and the watch. Now, if all these things that people are saying was true, how was you able to keep those items and live the same way you was living on the street behind the wall without a motherfucker taking your head off?
And yo, real talk, man, niggas who been with me, niggas know I'm heavy on the set, though, man, in the penitentiary. I'm heavy, homie, like Bartier's on my face, Big Cubans on, Rollie on. Niggas been with me in Attica, Clinton, Auburn, Elmira, Kasaki. Niggas know one thing, homie, like a nigga ain't gonna fuck with me. I'm a light-skinned nigga with not one scratch on my face. You feel me? Like, the pictures show it right there, man. I'm on a VI everywhere. Them is major spots, gladiator school spots. Dig what I'm saying? Like, I'm heavier than y'all, bro. Like, real talk, man. I just want to give a major shout out to my nigga Blue Boy, Randy Love from Harlem, Blue Boy from Lower East Side, Dick Wolf, you know, the big GF for the Gorillas, you know, like, so many other niggas who really kept it official with a real nigga when nigga was on the yard, man. I mean, if I forgot you, man, don't charge it to my heart and my mind. Just charge it to what I'm going through right now in life, man.
Now, bro, you said that you was facing a life sentence and you was able to regain your freedom. Was that through a reversal? You know, did you get in the law library? What's the backstory on you being able to give back all that time, bro?
I got a life sentence because of a juvenile case that I caught that they charged as an adult, which was mishandled. So by me going to the law library, I submitted my appeals in and was able to get a reversal because they couldn't use my juvenile charge as an adult. So, you know, due to that legal issue was the reason why I got a reversal and got the life taken off my sentence. But, you know, I had other time in other states. Like in Pennsylvania, I had a 20 to 40. In Delaware, I had a 10 to 20. So I was fighting all kinds of cases in all, you know, in several states to give time back. So I fought for my life, man. I had to fight, you know. I had to read, I had to study, and I had to get up in that law library, not only for New York State, but for the state of Pennsylvania and the state of Delaware.
Now, you know, Snow, you're a controversial type of cat, right? Now, you know, shout out to Queen's Flip, man. You know, Queen's Flip had the homie Solo B on there. But a lot of cats took offense to when you said that shit about New York Bloods being dirty and all that. So in closing, what's your message to the motherfuckers that fuck with you? And what's your message to the haters, man? To everybody that got something negative to say about you? What's your message to them people?
And yo, yeah, homie, man, let's just get this right on record. I'm a former non-Trey Gangsta Blood member. I'm no longer affiliated with no gang activity. You feel me? I'm all about teaching the youth how to stay clear of gangs. You dig what I'm saying? So let's just get that clear. And as for the guy, whatever his name is, BLB, whatever his name is, man, I don't even know that dude, man, you know. And I'm quite sure he don't know me because I'm a ghost, man. You know, the people who know me need to know me. He won't know me, and I'm quite sure he know me. But you know, for whatever his purpose is or whatever the interview was for, that's why you heard the interviewer like, come on, man, don't start that, man. You gonna sit here and say you don't know this dude? Come on, let's knock it off, man. Like, really? Let's knock it off. Now, his baby mother is my little henchman who died sister. So how you don't know of me, my nigga? Come on, man, knock the corny shit off, old ass nigga, man. Like, this nigga's a guard body nigga turned blood nigga. Like, come on. And most of them niggas that was up north during that time or even on the island was dope fiend niggas. That's what really the beef was over between the Germans and the motherfucking blacks, because a lot of them blacks that was guard body was getting hot and they ain't want to pay for the dope. So if you really want to get technical, these niggas is old dope fiend niggas, man. Turned blood niggas. You hear the interview?
Snow, like in retrospect, right, looking back on the whole situation, on how everything went down, if you could sit down and talk with Tekashi, Shotty, Melly, Kuda B, you know, all them guys that got caught up in that indictment, man, what would you say to them guys if you could sit down and have a conversation with them cats on some man-to-man shit?
I would honestly say to them, man, don't cut your nose off to spite your face, man. If you know the person in position to take you out to another level, man, sit back and enjoy the ride, man. You know, I always see men come across Instagram that say individuals would rather sink the ship if they can't be the captain, man. If the captain's maneuver on the ship amongst the terrain and the obstacles to get you where you need to be, then let him maneuver the ship, man. Let him drive the ship. Why would you want to throw the captain overboard and you don't even know how to drive the ship, man? And that's what I would definitely tell him face to face, man. Let the captain maneuver the ship, man. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face, man. When someone got the knowledge and the brains and in position to take you to another level, let them drive the shit. You know, and that's what I would say to them, man. They already know what time it is, though. Trust me.
So, yo, Snow, I was on your social media page, man. I see you rubbing elbows with a lot of notable people in the hip-hop game, man. Can you go into detail? I see a picture with you, Tory Lanez, Black China. Give us a story, man. Elaborate on some of these images for us.
The images you see up there is probably, let me see, me and A Boogie. Yeah, you know, I held A Boogie down at one point, you know. A lot of it is inside the book, though, dealing with me and A Boogie. Same thing for Dave East. Shout out to my cousins, you know, Beans, and them, you know, my cousins out of Harlem and all that, you know. I held Dave East down one time when he came to the style. You know, who else you see up there? You probably see me and Casanova. You already know the situation with me and Casanova, though. You know, shout out to Casanova. He know what time it is, though. Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, my guy. Yeah, I held Tory Lanez down at one point, too. Definitely. Mano, you know, yeah, and Black China, yo. Shout out to Black China, though, man. You know, I hear a lot of people saying, me and Mano had some kind of problems or something over some kind of girl or something. It wasn't never no problems, man. Not what I think of anyway. But you know, Mano from my hood though, man, you know, and kind of like validate a lot of Mano peoples, man, you know, like, you know, it was at one point in my younger years, man, I was on a lot of bullshit, you know, when I was in the streets, man. So a few of Mano peoples, man, I definitely had to check and run down on, man. But as for Black China, shout out to Black China, man. That's my baby girl though, man. You know, Black China, a real one, man. I remember a few years ago, at the time I was fucking with Black China, man. You know, I was making like $10,000 a week, man. And you know, Black China asked me, she was like, yo, Snow, man, won't you just come to California with me and you could just live with me, nigga? Like, you ain't even gotta be on the East Coast no more. But I was like, China, I ain't even ready for that move right now. I'm getting too much money right now to be moving anywhere right now. I'm getting $10,000 a week profit. I ain't trying to leave the East Coast right now. But yo, shout out Black China for offering me the position to come to Cali with her, man, before she took off the way she did, though. China is a real one, though, man. Real talk.
And Snow, tell us about 3 Straight Lanes, man. Tell us about that organization that you said you was working with. What's the goal of that organization and what are they into? Explain that to the people, the 3 Straight Lanes.
Yeah, man, shout out to 3 Straight Lanes, man, non-profitable organization for at-risk youth. You know, our message is go straight, stay straight, keep straight. Our mission is spreading gang prevention awareness in the hip-hop industry and inside the communities. But basically, 3 Straight Lanes was an organization I created several years ago, man. You know, you have 3 lanes in life, man. You got the lane to the cemetery, the lane to a productive life, and the lane to the penitentiary, man. You know, and I've been down all the lanes, man. I've been to the penitentiary, I've been down the lane of productive, and I've been down the lane to the cemetery. And I was blessed to survive, you know, the 2 deadliest lanes. I'm here to, you know, show the youth, man, that, you know, you got to go straight in life, man. You know, you got to stay focused, man. You can't make the wrong turn, because the wrong turn could end you in a situation where you might not be as blessed as myself, man. So before you jump on that lane, make sure you heading straight, you know, and that's what 3 Straight Lanes is about, showing the youth to keep it straight, man. I was just like y'all, man. You know, and I was blessed to be able to get up off the ground after being shot executional style, you know, after getting a life sentence and being able to give it back and facing, you know, all kinds of years in the penitentiary, man. You know, everybody ain't blessed like this, man. So, you know, 3 Straight Lanes, man, is an organization, man, is here to show the youth, man, to keep it straight, keep it focused, man. Because if you make the wrong turn, man, that's a choice you choose, man, and it can end you in a bad predicament.
Talk to us, man. Talk to us about Billy Badass Records. Talk to us about Badass Films. Talk to us. What's next? What's next for Snow Billy? And bro, get into the book, man. What's up with the book? Let's talk about the book.
Well, you know, man, as for Billy Badass Records, man, you know, that's a household name, man. You know, we ain't going nowhere, man. We here to stay, man. Whether we independent or whether we do a joint venture partnership with any major label, man. You know, we got hot artists, you know, and we moving, man. We working, man. You know, and as for Billy Badass Films, man, you know, we putting out that 69 shots, you know, film, and we got a few other productions coming off that label. Like we got the Forest Road Penitentiary, Atlanta, the Notorious 8. You know, we got a few more joints in the making, man, coming off Billy Badass Films. I can't say so many right off the top of my head because there's a lot going on right now. Yeah, you know, we got some things coming from Billy Badass Films, also the publishing division, you know, and definitely Billy Badass Records, man. We definitely dropping these hits, man, you know, we coming like we the real new Death Row, man. You know, we not saying we the new Death Row on a negative tip. We just a new Death Row on the way we moving with it, you know, with all these hits that we gonna be dropping soon. You know, that's what we saying, man. You know, so don't take this the wrong way, man, you know. And shout out to Suge, man. And shout out to his son, you know, Suge Jr., man, for that VH1 love and listening, man, what he got going on, man. And Harry O too, man. Let's not forget my idol, Harry O, man. Free Harry O, man, if he ain't already free, man. You know, I think he's still locked up on the Fed beef now, man. But free Harry O, man. Shout out to his wife, Linda, man, Lita, you know. Shout them out, man. You know, shout all my niggas out in LA out too, man. You know, as for Billy Badass Films, man, you know, we got the 69 shot book saga dropping. You know, it's 3 books of this saga. You know, the first one about to drop now. You know, the Rise and Fall Tekashi 6ix9ine and the Notorious Billy Badass record label and Treyway Entertainment. We also got the 69 shots Murder Over the Rainbow. We got a few books coming out. You know, a saga is 3, man. So, you know, we got 3 books coming out dealing with this whole situation. You know, and we gonna show them what this legal life about, man. What this staying on a productive lane is about. Shout out to the 69 shot book saga. We definitely got to get the last book, which is called Murder Over the Rainbow. That's gonna definitely blow readers off they rocket. So just stay tuned, man. I'm gonna give y'all nothing but heat, from the music to the movies to the apparel to everything, man. You know. Yeah, one last shout out. I want to shout everybody that's interested in purchasing a book, merchandise, films. You can follow BBA Publishing, Billy Badass Films, Billy Badass Apparel, Billy Badass Records on Instagram. As for the price of the book and how you can purchase the book, the audio book or the paperback edition with the 69 shot saga, you can go to BBA Publishing and find out all the information. And you can also go to Snow the Billy page on Instagram, Snow_the Billy, and find out more information on how you purchase anything dealing with the 69 shots book saga.